be an open war, but they are closer to a direct conflict than most people realize. There are no clear front lines to follow, no official warnings before anything begins, and no clear way to stop it once it starts. Instead, it begins with signals, movements detected, then suddenly disappearing without a trace. And sometimes, one single strike is enough to push everything into something neither side can control. Something is clearly happening here, and it's not random. These movements are too precise, too coordinated to be accidental. Signals appear at the same time, then disappear before anyone can respond. Targets are tracked long before they realize it, and in some cases, the strike comes first. Which means one thing: someone is controlling this situation in real time, and it may already be closer to escalation than anyone expected. To understand what's happening, you have to look at how these operations actually unfold. This isn't chaos, it's a controlled sequence. A convoy moves into a restricted corridor, while multiple systems are already tracking it from above and beyond. Every position is monitored, every movement is calculated in advance, and by the time the target realizes it's being watched, the window to react is already closing. And the situation is moving faster than anyone on the ground can control. At first, nothing seems out of place. The convoy continues moving forward, following a route that appears routine. But the terrain is already changing. The path becomes narrower, visibility begins to drop, and movement options slowly disappear. At the same time, tracking systems are adjusting, expanding their coverage as the convoy moves deeper. From above and from a distance, everything is being monitored. And without realizing it, the convoy is already moving into a position that may be far more controlled than it appears. At this point, the situation is already closing in. The convoy is moving into terrain with almost no visibility and no clear way to turn around. At the same time, multiple systems are tracking every movement, adjusting in real time as the convoy pushes forward. Signals begin converging toward the same location, and communication starts breaking apart, which leaves one decision. Do you keep moving, knowing you might be driving into a trap, or stop, and risk already being too late? And then, it happens. No warning, no time to react. The first strike hits before anyone fully understands what's happening. One moment, the convoy is moving, the next, everything stops. The narrow terrain turns into a trap almost instantly, with vehicles blocking each other and no clear way out. And from above, the surveillance never stops. Which means this wasn't just a strike. It was the beginning of something far more controlled than it looks. The impact doesn't just stop the convoy, it breaks it apart. Vehicles begin stopping at different angles, blocking each other inside a space that was already too tight. Attempts to reposition only make things worse, as every movement creates more confusion. Communication starts overlapping, signals cutting in and out with no clear coordination. And in that moment, control begins to slip. Because while everything is falling out of sync, something above is still watching. And the next move may already be seconds away. But this doesn't stop with one strike. Within moments, more pressure begins to build. Additional drones move into position, and the situation starts tightening from every direction. A second impact hits, forcing the convoy into a complete standstill. At the same time, signals multiply across the area, and communication begins to collapse under interference. Now movement is no longer an option, and what started as a single strike is quickly turning into something far more coordinated and much harder to escape. By now, the pattern is becoming clearer. This isn't just pressure being applied, it's pressure being coordinated. Multiple systems are adjusting together, tracking, timing, and position sync across the area. What looked chaotic moments ago starts to reveal structure. Signals aren't just reacting, they're aligning. And that changes the situation completely. Because this is no longer about a single target. It's about a system that can adapt in real time and respond faster than anything on the ground. And then, something changes. A new signal appears, moving faster than anything seen before. Within seconds, a response is triggered from far outside the immediate area, and an interceptor is launched. What follows happens almost too quickly to process. A mid-air detonation cuts through the sky, stopping the incoming threat before it reaches the target zone. For a brief moment, everything goes quiet. But that silence reveals something critical. This isn't just a localized attack anymore. It's part of a much larger system already in motion. After the interception, everything goes quiet, but not in a way that suggests control. The convoy is still trapped, with no clear way out and no real understanding of what just happened. Surveillance continues overhead, and scattered signals remain active across the region. Communication returns, but only partially, and nothing feels stable. And that's what makes this moment dangerous, because this doesn't look like something that ended. It looks like something that's waiting and could escalate again at any second. What this reveals isn't just a single operation, it's a system. A system where surveillance, timing, and precision strikes are all connected and constantly active. There are no clear beginnings anymore, and no clean endings. Just pressure, applied in ways that are hard to predict and even harder to respond to. Which raises a bigger question. If conflicts now operate like this, do traditional rules of warfare still matter? Or are we already moving into something far more unpredictable? But what we've seen here is only part of the picture. Because this type of operation doesn't happen in isolation. It connects to a much larger network, one that extends far beyond a single location or moment. And in many cases, what looks like a contained situation is actually just the first phase of something much bigger. Which means the real question isn't what just happened, but what happens next. And how far this kind of warfare can spread before anyone is able to fully contain it.